Over the years, there have seemingly been an endless supply of new cozy games coming out, especially after the major successes that Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing saw. These games really solidified that there is a huge untapped audience of gamers who like to play relaxing and creative games, and most of this untapped audience was women, who have largely been unconsidered in previous years. Many of these new cozy games revolve around things like farming, decorating, shopkeeping, role-playing, romance, etc. If you can think of it, there's probably a cozy game for it. Now, whether that cozy game is actually good or just cozy slop, that is to be determined. But I believe there is a huge untapped market in the world of cozy games that more developers need to tap into, and that is cozy MMOs. More specifically, MMORPGs. If you don't know, MMO stands for Massively Multiplayer Online, an online video game where a large number of players can interact with each other in a virtual shared world. There are a few different subgenres of MMOs. You have MMORTs, Massively Multiplayer Online Real-Time Strategy, MMOFPS, Massively Multiplayer Online First-Person Shooters, and MMORPGs, Massively Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Games. There are a few examples of some cozy MMO games out there. So let's talk about a few of them and how they all sort of met their demise, or didn't quite crack the code. You know who did crack the code though? Me. With my new merch drop that is live right now. If you'd like to support me as a creator and get yourself some super duper cute merch, please consider purchasing some of my new merch. We have Cozy Gamer Dreams designed by Smeow on Instagram, and a silly little Krobus design that I made myself. These designs come in all different colors, shapes, and sizes, so feel free to browse the options on mariz-shop.fourthwall.com. And if you are a tier 3 Freak Show Pro member of this channel, check out the posts tab on my channel to find a code to get yourself 10% off of any order over $25. And as a thank you, the first 10 people who purchase merch from this collection, I will send you a handwritten thank you card in the mail. Thank you so much for your support, and let's get back to the video. One of the most popular examples of an MMORPG that I feel like most casual cozy gamers are familiar with is Club Penguin. Club Penguin was a massively multiplayer online game that ran from 2005 to 2017. The game featured a virtual world that included a wide range of online games and activities. Players used cartoon penguin avatars and played in an Antarctic-themed open world. You could chat with your fellow penguins, decorate your igloo with the latest decor, play games with others, or by yourself if you really wanted to. You could deck out your penguin with cute outfits, cool hairstyles, unique accessories, and buy yourself as many pet puffles as your heart desires. There were even worldwide events that players could all partake in together. But Club Penguin was specifically designed for children ages 6 to 14. So while people 18 and older were allowed to play, it still very much had that childish element to it. And unfortunately, Club Penguin met its demise in 2017 when Disney bought them. Club Penguin shut down primarily due to declining user numbers and a shift in Disney's priorities towards other ventures and franchises. After an emotional goodbye to the game that so many of us grew up with, the community took it into their own hands to revive the game that means so much to so many, and thus Club Penguin Rewritten was born. Club Penguin Rewritten was a 2017 fan server and later on a fan game based on the original game. It was created by 2 indie developers as an alternative to the original game, which had been shut down by Disney on March 30th, 2017. As a voluntary project, Rewritten had in-game items once limited to paid members in Club Penguin, available to everyone in-game. After Club Penguin ceased operation, the development team for Rewritten expanded. The game was built on pre-existing Flash files and simulated older versions of the original game, but was distinct through its absence of in-game purchases. The game accumulated a large online community in relation to the consequences and restrictions from the COVID-19 pandemic. Teens and young adults who played the original game used it to host in-game events during the pandemic. As it provided escapism, Rewritten was subject to speedruns and even a virtual concert for Soccer Mommy's album Color Theory. During this time, a staff member reported that the game averaged 30,000 new registered users daily. Rewritten was praised for its nostalgic environment. The remake was recognized by one of the developers of Club Penguin, Lance Priebe, in which he respected the social impact the game brought during the pandemic. The fan game was shut down on April 13th, 2022, due to a full request from Disney. Boo! But prior to its shutdown, the game had accumulated over 11 million registered users. So, as you can see, there is a huge demand for cozy games with social mechanics like this. A more recent example of a very successful cozy online RPG is Webfishing. In Webfishing, players join or host small online servers of 1 to 12 players, where they can perform various social activities such as fishing, chatting, metal detecting, shopping, and playing guitar. Players earn cash by selling caught fish and completing quests, which is used to buy in-game items. In-game items include player avatar customizations and equipment upgrades. Aside from the standard gameplay loop of fishing to complete collections, there are several secrets in the in-game world, including rare fish obtained through the use of special bait or during specific events. Elements of the environment allow players to launch their avatars across the game world to access higher up locations, or to more quickly reach far off sites, which has been showcased in totally freaking epic TikTok and Twitter videos. Webfishing has received overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam and had a peak player count of 10,000. One thing that really made Webfishing stand apart from other MMOs was that it was a game designed for adults, not kids. The text boxes and clothing would sometimes say edgy, raunchy jokes, and players were allowed to use profanity without any consequences. This did cause the occasional uncomfortable moment where edgelords would try to take things too far, but in my experience, for the most part, everyone was pretty chill and respectful. Webfishing is a game that is very slow-paced and not firing at your dopamine receptors every 5 seconds like kids these days crave. So I didn't ever really encounter people who were clearly underage, because kids might find the slowness of the game a bit boring. You simply just cast your rod and wait, and while you wait, you can chat with others on the server. While I wouldn't call Webfishing a massive multiplayer game, as lobbies could only house up to 12 players, the game did have a huge bustling community of largely LGBTQIA+ players who loved relaxing, dressing up, catching fish, and just goofing off together. But I truly think Webfishing had the potential to be a massively multiplayer online game if it was still being consistently updated and supported, because things were looking very good for the future of Webfishing a little while back, gaining massive online popularity very, very fast. I mean, one of my most viewed videos on my channel is about Webfishing. So what happened? Well, that's kind of a whole video in and of itself, but long story short, unfortunately, the developer of Webfishing took an indefinite step back from updating Webfishing further due to being overwhelmed by the amount of attention that the game had received. So I think a lot of the community just sort of lost interest over time, including myself. Not because it's a bad game, but because with MMOs, updates and new content are very important when it comes to maintaining a player base. But the game is still playable, and if you have yet to try it, I definitely recommend trying it out. Palia is another recent cozy game that has seen a lot of success that was largely advertised as an MMO, but is it really an MMO? That is the question. Personally, I don't have too much experience with playing Palia, but there is a lot of discourse online on whether or not Palia is actually an MMO, like it's advertised as. And since I'm a bit inexperienced with Palia, here's what some Redditors on the MMORPG subreddit had to say about this topic. Palia is not an MMO in terms of game technology, a glorified farming simulator that happens to have a chat room. It's not exactly massive, but it is multiplayer and online. You share a lobby with 20+ people, but there's barely any interaction. I had fun playing it, but it doesn't bring anything new to the table. Maybe give it a try if you like the multiplayer aspect. Is Palia really an MMO? Simple answer, I say no. The world is instance-based, with you having lobbies with roughly 10 to 20-ish people. Most of the time, these people will be running about doing their own business. At the point I've gotten to, you will need people to assist with getting materials such as the flow-infused wood. These come from purple glowing trees that regen faster than one person can chop. This is done to low-key force you to cooperate with players. People will often call these out in chats to get a group going to chop down a tree. I will go to them if I see it called out, but I have had many callouts come to no one showing up, so I move on. So while some might argue that Palia is the cozy MMO for cozy gamers, from what it seems to me and to others, it doesn't seem like the Palia devs have really cracked the code of being the perfect cozy MMO. So it seems the perfect cozy MMO has yet to surface. Club Penguin was kind of almost there, but it was sort of a bit ahead of its time. Plus, the game was designed for kids, not cozy gamers, and was ultimately shut down by Disney. Webfishing had the potential to be the MMO that cozy gamers have been waiting for, but is no longer being supported. And Palia doesn't really seem to have that social part nailed down as much as they would like. And other cozy MMOs seem to also not really have the social part nailed down. People crave social interaction, whether they want to admit it or not. I think it's safe to say that many cozy gamers are introverts who consider themselves shy and prefer being in the safety of their homes most of the time. But human interaction is something that people need at a certain point. And for some reason, social interaction can feel a lot easier over the internet. Probably because of the anonymity of it all and the being at home of it all. But hey, online social interaction is better than no social interaction at all. I don't think online interaction should totally replace your real life human interaction, but I do think it's a great way for socially anxious people to sort of practice talking to people. Honestly, that's what I did when I was playing a lot of web fishing. I'm someone who has had an upward battle with social anxiety for most of my life. And while I was trying to break through those barriers last year, web fishing was a great way for me to practice talking to people. I think it's also a big reason why people love watching streamers play games and chatting with like-minded communities on game streaming sites like Twitch or YouTube. Being part of a community makes people feel good, which is why I think game developers who want to make the next big cozy game need to try to stop being the next Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing, and instead need to try to make one of the last largely untapped markets of cozy gaming, MMORPGs. There is one game that has yet to be released that is marketing itself as a cozy MMO that I am absolutely dying to play one day, and that upcoming game is Loftia. Loftia's official website describes itself as a cozy solarpunk MMO, drawing inspiration from the beloved cozy games like Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing, along with classic MMOs. We've crafted a new solarpunk world where you can build your new home and work together with others towards a brighter, more sustainable future. Now, I would like to say Loftia is not sponsoring this video. I'm just genuinely looking forward to this game so damn much. From all the promotional material that I've seen thus far, it looks like they are really pouring so much love and passion into developing this game the right way, instead of rushing out a subpar product to make a quick buck. Loftia began as a solo hobby project by Mike at the beginning of 2022, with Martina and a few others joining soon after. It was initially a humble, small-scale game built for, believe it or not, the web browser. As the idea of the game continued to grow and evolve over time, it got to a point where they realized that the browser would simply no longer be viable due to its limited graphical capabilities and processing power. This would mark a turning point for Loftia. They had to make a choice: either stay with the browser and accept that they wouldn't be able to develop the game to its full potential, or make the move to a more powerful game engine and begin development again from scratch. In July 2022, they made the difficult but necessary decision to switch over to Unreal Engine 5, a state-of-the-art game engine with powerful rendering capabilities and a ton of advanced features. Due to the very significant differences in tech between the browser engine they were using and Unreal Engine, the prototype could not be ported over, and they had to rebuild all the aspects of the game. This is also the point at which they realized that Loftia would require a much larger team to reach its potential. So they decided to go all in and really invest in the dream they had. They took all their savings from past jobs and have used it to build a team that can bring Loftia to life. I have very, very high hopes for Loftia. It's up there with Haunted Chocolatier for me when it comes to games that I'm highly anticipating. And if you know me, you know that is a big statement. I really think they're going to drop the next big cozy game that is all anyone can talk about in the cozy community. The MMO of all time, if you will. It has all the features that everyone loves about cozy games: farming, expressing yourself through decorating and dressing up, getting cute pet companions, exploring and uncovering the mysteries and secrets of the world, plus being a massive multiplayer game where you can chat with friends and possibly even make new friends. It feels like Loftia has been in development for freaking forever. They've been in a closed alpha testing phase since December 2024 and plan to release in early access in late 2025, according to their website. Releasing in early access rather than just doing a full release does make me a bit nervous, just because personally I think it's better for most games to just have a full release rather than being in that early access phase for too long, because cozy gamers have a tendency to run through all the content during early access, and then by the time the game is ready for its full 1.0 release, players are burnt out on the game. But here's to hoping that Loftia is one of the few outliers of the early access curse. But please sound off in the comments on your thoughts on this topic. Do you think we need more cozy MMO games? Do you have any thoughts on a cozy MMO that I didn't talk about today? Are you as excited for Loftia as I am? I would love to hear all your thoughts on this topic. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.